Jayson Street, welcome to the SAINTCON Hallway Talk. How's it going today?
It's been going amazing. I've been having a great time here, seriously.
First time to SAINTCON?
First time, hopefully not my last. It's been an amazing, I love the community here, and just that you can always tell when a conference literally puts into consideration the participants and the attendees, because it's not just about some speaker on a stage. It's like, but it's about the people doing stuff and inter networking and getting to like talk to each other, and because that's what the real conference is about. It's like, to me, it's like being on the stage is not as important. It's seeing the hardware hacking village, seeing the contest, seeing like the whose slide it was anyway. It's like having the huge chill out area, having the drinks and the snacks available for people to have. That's not advertising, but that's saying we care about the community and we want the community to feel welcome here. And I really appreciate that.
Awesome. What's one thing that you weren't expecting?
I wasn't expecting, it's a good question, let me see. I'm always worst case scenario guy, so I'm always expecting the worst. I didn't expect my talk to go as well as it did. I expected it to like fail more horribly. But I think I didn't expect how much that there was, like, you know, the tracks are upstairs and it's like that's where, but there's still meeting areas for people to hang out and like chill. So it gives people that want to have that, like, I don't want to be around people right now. I want to just do my thing. And then you've got these other areas where it's all about everybody working together, everybody like, and I like literally had, and I wasn't expecting such a kid-friendly atmosphere, to be honest with you. It's like not just family night, literally had this wonderful family come up to me, and it's like, the kids were like, can we borrow your rubber ducky for the scavenger hunt? Because they're like hardcore playing the scavenger hunt and stuff, you know? Right. They got the awkward hug from me.
They're winning like, right now too.
Yeah, it's like, because they're committed, and people don't understand when you support that and support that kind of like, not hacking ability, but just the curiosity and the ability to say, yeah, you're going all in, little one. It's like that's great. It's like, and they're not trying to tamp it down, but they're trying to support it and stuff. And they may switch to another field, or they may go to somewhere, another interest, but you can tell they're supporting what they're interested in. And to me, that's really awesome, because that's what hacking is about. It's just having passion and curiosity and imagination, and you should always foster that, not try to put it in a box. Perfect.
So you stripped on stage for your keynote.
I did. Well, it was called Hacker Striptease. I mean, come on. I come with warning labels.
Can you walk me through the thought process of you coming up with the idea for that talk? You're like, I'm gonna get on stage and I'm gonna take off clothes. Like, what was the thought process of it?
My talks, like, I have several talks percolating in my head. Like, well, I'll just get like a random thought. I used to like write a lot of poetry, and literally I would come up with this one verse or this one thing, and I was like, oh, I got to write a whole poem about this. But also, it's like I'll come up with like a title name or something like that for a talk. And I'm like, oh, that'd be, okay, how can I make that into a talk? And I noticed that it's like, because when I do engagements, it's like I literally have different disguises on. It's like, and they're not like obvious disguises. You know, I don't wear the burglar mask. It's like, you know, that would be hilarious. I should try that one time. But it's
dressed
like,
as a Hamburglar going
exactly. I mean, like, but I have like t-shirts that say, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. Right. I have shirts that say, I don't belong here, with a big exclamation and triangle. It's like, I mean, just like all these warning labels. I got shoes that have the Marauders map on it, and the heel of the shoe says mischief managed as I'm walking out. So I like to come with like warning, because I want them to understand something's not quite right about me. Because Lord, there is something not quite right about me anyway, right? And then I was like, but how do I show people that? And also, I've been getting a lot of static and a lot of people, you know, like, first of all, I love my haters. I mean, I thrive on negative hate, because it's like, that's all I understood when I was growing up. So when I see those comments, I'm like, oh, okay, that's someone I need to prove wrong. It's like, people always try to give me compliments and inspire me. I never believe it because it's like I got so low self-esteem. But you try to tell me how bad I am or how I don't belong here, and I'm like, mother, I'm going to show you, okay? And there's been like certain people in this industry, I mean, there's been people in this community that have literally said, I don't like you talking, and it's gonna be my mission to make sure you stop. It's like this year. And that was back during DEF CON 19, like that year. And I remember that vividly because I owe them so much. Because since that time,
yeah.
all I did was like, oh, okay, you decided to like play the arch nemesis card. You're not that important, but I'll take you up on like, you know, achieving what I did, achieving what I can do. And I would not be where I'm at if it wasn't for him. I would literally not be where I'm at and doing what I do if it wasn't that person actively trying to destroy me. When I talk to my kids about bullying, it's like, I always mention him because he was my bully that I had to deal with in this community. And where is he at right now? I don't care, I don't know. It's like, is he great at what he does? Yes. Is he better at some of the red teaming stuff that I can do? 100%. Is he really good about the community and tries to help the community? Yes. I think he's a horrible piece of garbage, but that's just my opinion. That doesn't like, I'm not gonna lie about his abilities or his contributions and try to lessen them. I'm just like, personally, horrible piece of human. And he's the person that when I say something online or I do something, is he gonna take that apart? Is he gonna find a way to make that something bad? And so, yeah, all my people that like to like, dude, it's like, I look at the comments, I see it, yes, oh, block, next, okay? And literally some of the haters, I don't even block because first it'd give them too much satisfaction. And second of all, it's just adorable to hear them coming at me. Like, dude, I say worse things about myself before 10 a.m. than you've ever come up with. You know, try harder, please, okay? And so this talk was germed around like, oh, everybody loves to say, Jayson, you're not technical. You're just, all you do is walk in, and they try to lessen what I do because I make it look like I'm just walking in, and I try to let people know, this stuff is so easy, I can do it. And I pissed off, I think, a lot of red teamers because they like to be the ninjas. They like to be like, oh, we're going through the skylight. And all this like toxic masculinity inside our industry we don't want to talk about, where red teamers like all the sexy and rock stars and how more toxic masculinity can you have than everybody's got a plan until you punch them in the face.
Right.
It's like, first of all, when your life coach is Mike Tyson, you've made some serious mistakes with your life, okay? Second of all, Mike Tyson, the convicted rapist, literally is a plagiarizer because he plagiarized that off of a Prussian general whose actual quote was, no battle plans withstands first contact of the enemy, which should be as a warning to the red teamers to not be so cocky because once they come in and start attacking, you don't know what your defenders are going to do. It should be a warning, but no, we gotta, I'm that tough guy, right? And it's like, we gotta stop that. It's like, I'm an advocate for the client, not an adversary. I'm there to, when my clients do great, that means I'm doing a good job.
Right. It's
like, we're there to like, the only reason the red team exists is to make the blue team better. But we wanna get on this whole thing like we're here to break stuff. No, anybody can break stuff. They're getting stuff broken by everybody that's like doing it for free already. They're paying you for the report.
Right.
They're paying for you to impress upon the management to invest funds and to get these things fixed. That's why you're there. That is the only reason why you're there. They know stuff is broken. That's why you showed up in the first place. Now, do your effing job and communicate the vulnerabilities effectively to executives so they will actually take it seriously and get this stuff done. Yeah, I've literally heard red teamers brag about like how they were able to pop the same vulnerability the next year as an engagement that they had the last year. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me you failed miserably. You're telling me that you were totally ineffectual in your job the first year And so the client didn't fix the vulnerabilities that they should have, and now you're gloating that you were so poor in your communication and reporting that the vulnerability was still there for a year and you left your client at risk. Well done, I guess. Here's your cookie. It's like, you suck. It's like, so I got tired of all that hate because I was saying these things. So I was like, why don't I just show people? Because everybody likes to talk about when I do talks, like, oh, you're just telling war stories. Oh, you're just like, oh, you're just talking. Like, I don't believe half the stuff that I've done. And I was there. And so and I always feel like, how could anybody else believe that I've actually been able to walk into a bank and compromise it in 15 seconds? That's absurd. But I got it on video.
Right.
So I was like, why don't I show them on video? How not using elite red team hacking, ninja social engineering skills, using MLP and like all that crap. How if I just walked in from the street and show them how I compromised a bank 100%? It's like, and the bank was closed. If you noticed that on the video, the door opened because the employee was coming too close to the sensor and opened the door. But that's the reason why I was so suspicious, because the bank was closed. That's why there were people waiting out front. But I still just went in like I was supposed to be there.
Right.
And it's like, so I wanted people to realize it's not that hard. Stop being intimidated by all these people saying how hard it is and how difficult you have to do it and how tough you have to be to get the job done. And I did it because so therefore I was like, well, let me do it in a funny way. Right. And what would be a funny way to show the different personas that I use that are very low tech, very low key? Well, I'll dress up those personas, and then I'll just take the clothes off as I talk about them, because I have a lot of gadgets that I never use, but they're cool. It's like, and I made sure I mentioned that. It's like you see look at all these tools I got, all these. I usually use this. Right. And I usually use this.
USB audit.
And that's good at, yeah, exactly. Hack 5, it's like people think like Hack 5's a cheat, or it's like Hack 5's like not really trying hard, or they're too expensive. Dude, they work. It's like Darren Kitchen pushes good product. It's like he's got MG pushing good product. It's like, I've never ever done any kind of other engagement where I needed something else.
Is there a gadget that you don't own?
Yes, the new the OMG Elite.
Oh, the Elites, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't they have a little ghost on them now?
Yes,
yeah,
there's a couple more. There's some of the newer ones I have not got my hands on yet, but they're amazing. And it's like, and it's just so simple, because I'm not trying to exploit. To me, and I say this when I work at TrueSec, it's like I say, it's about education, not exploitation. I'm not trying to pop shells. I'm not trying to show how much of their credentials I stole or how much data is gone, so they'll be nervous and worried about it. I do a simple notepad pop-up, or command, open up command prompt and telnet to towel.blinkylights.nl, where you telnet there and you see the ASCII Star Wars story. It's like animated. Right. And it's just to show that, hey, I was able to communicate out with PowerShell. I've got a piece of code that goes out, a ducky script, that opens up PowerShell, and it plays ricascally. It's like, it's just those kind of simple things to show I could do something bad, but I didn't. So therefore, the message isn't, be worried, you may have lost some data, or now I own your private data. But the message is, this could have been bad, but I was here to teach you, not test you. And so therefore you didn't lose, you learned. And that's what it's about. That's why I don't do red teaming. I make sure that people understand, I am not a red teamer. I'm a security awareness operative. I'm a simulated adversary. It's like, that's what I do. Because I finished my engagement and I go out and I teach them afterwards. I go to each person I compromised and tell them what I did. And I have to deal with the repercussions of their anger and their distrust. That's where the social engineering comes in, making sure they understand by the end of that it was a positive experience and they don't walk away with a negative one. And so that was the whole birth of the talk, was just to show, here's me actually doing the stuff that I talk about. Maybe it is actually as easy as I say it is. And these are just the ridiculous ways that I look when I do them. I mean, I've literally robbed hotels on 3 different continents. It's like barefoot and pajama bottoms and a t-shirt.
I saw some hotel slippers in one of those pictures, right?
No, those are just, my feet are just so white, they look like slippers. It's like, I'm a white boy redneck from Texas, motherfucker. I don't tan well, okay?
How much weight did you lose on that stage?
Oh my gosh, a lot. People don't understand how much tech I carry all the time. Like they'll pick up like even my small little purse, and they're like, and I've got like all this gear right now, which is at least 10 pounds, that I'm constantly carrying with me. One of my favorite comments was one time I picked up this guy. He was like 6 foot something, and he was like over 200 pounds. And I picked him up to do an awkward hug, and Grifter retweeted it, and he said, "Can we all just take a moment to understand how strong Jayson really is, though he doesn't look it?" And I was like, yeah, it's like, because people don't realize I didn't start out in IT. I started out like...
What is that InfoSec origin story? What got you into this industry?
Everybody knows I started off as a high school dropout who used to live behind a dumpster. It's like I got tired of working as a janitor at McDonald's. I worked there for 2 years, a little over 2 years, and I was like an effing great janitor. It's like on my bio on my website, it states that our restaurant won cleanest restaurant for 2 years in a row in the Southeast Texas region. Because it doesn't matter. People don't understand, like they act like they're not supposed to take pride in what they do because it's beneath other people. I was an effing great janitor. I did my job right.
An award-winning janitor.
Exactly. And it's like, I didn't want to be a janitor all my life, but that doesn't excuse me not to do a good job. And it's like, and I just heard from a guy from SAINTCON here that was a farmer. And he said, dude, I saw one of your talks, and it's like, I decided to start getting into IT. It's like, wow. Exactly. We talk about diversity a lot in our community, but we don't really understand diversity. It's like, we're not talking about just letting women come back in it. Because let's be honest, women started this industry in the 60s. It's like, they're the ones that started this industry. It's like then men in the 70s and 80s realized they could make money at it and pushed them out. And now we're all like, oh, we need women in tech. No, mother, you're saying it wrong. We want women back in tech. But that's not the only diversity. We got people from economic diversity.
Yeah, farmers,
we got
janitors.
Farmers, and we've got people that are like coming from with people with different disabilities that aren't really like the disabilities you think because they learn to adapt and be a hacker and think of how to do something different. We are better the more diverse our community is. And it's not just a black and white issue, it is literally just a common diversity issue from different walks of life, from different areas and stuff, and just seeing from those different cultures. It's like what they did to adapt into a certain society or a certain culture, and that's what we need more of.
Right.
And so...
So you're a janitor.
Yes, oh yeah, you gotta keep on task, I ramble a lot. So then I started that, and then I got into physical security. I came from a lot of childhood trauma. It's like a lot of abuse, assault, all that stuff. And so instead of becoming the psychopath murderer, serial killer that I was being raised to be, I literally got broken just the right way that I abhor violence. I don't like having to hurt people. I've been in fights where I've been like wailing on someone and destroying them and crying because they made me have to like actually do this. And it's like, and so I love it when bad guys have bad days. And so I wanted to be the person to help others before they had to deal with that. And so I got into security. Then I did.
What's that intro? How do you make the jump from a janitor to security? Because you made it sound really easy. I just got into security.
No, it is. That's the problem. It is. It's like anybody can just start off as physical security. They're like,
they call it breaking and entering, though.
Breathe on a mirror. Okay, yeah, you passed. You passed the test. You're a security now. Here's a gun. It's like, no, it's like, it was literally a paper mill for becoming a T-close certified security officer with a gun,
got it, right.
officer. And it was like a whole paper mill, put my family in debt and stuff, which I didn't care too much about because I wasn't too fond of them. And then I got into that, and it's like, and so I was an armed security officer.
So you're a defender, not breaking into the buildings, but helping.
No, I was defending it.
Yes.
And the whole time that I did those things and did that job, I was your nightmare. Because I was the guy who literally stayed awake during the midnight shifts. I'm the guy who said, you're in a no parking zone, get out.
Not playing the Game Boy.
Exactly. I did
Knew
my
which
job.
number to call when somebody was suspicious.
Exactly. I was that guy who was following all those things. And also when I was on patrol, the way my brain always works, I can't shut off all the different threads in my brain. It's sort of like when I'm riding my motorcycle or like maybe in a movie theater where I can't get up without missing something, but it's constantly going. And so when I'm doing the patrols, it's like that camera is creating a blind spot here. I could break in that way. It's like, or there's an insecure round right here. It's like that we're doing. It's like that door could be like activated through a mode. And so I would figure out in every engagement, every place that I went to, how I would rob them. And it was not because I wanted to rob them, but I wanted to protect them. And it's like, I wanted to we're not doing enough by just patrolling it. We need to let them know. And then I got into, as a supplemental officer for a gang task force in Houston, where I was literally getting shot at, it's like for a living. And I gave my 2 weeks notice after a bullet came too close. But I captured murderers. I had to do first aid to gunshot victims. It's like, it was pretty rough. It's like, I literally felt sorry about arresting this one guy for murder because he was defending himself, but he had like $1,000 worth of crack on him. So it's like, dude, you're going for the felony. It's like, but you were actually, if you would have dropped the freaking crack, you would have just gotten defense for a defensive thing. Because the other guy, part of his head was over here, and it's like, so I didn't really check his pulse, but I didn't realize that the guy had a gun in his hand too. So he was literally, the other guy was just actually trying to defend himself, but he still went to jail. But so I did all that, and then I just got tired of that. And so I went back to security for like maybe 6 months, and then I heard a commercial talking about help desk support. So I got into help desk support. In 2000, the VP, Tim Smith, great man who changed my life forever, who we all owe or should be mad at for getting me here, heard me talking, and all the other help desk people coming to me asking me questions, and me talking about sword fighting and Bushido and how I changed the GUI and hacked the system on my interfaces, because I love GUI hacking. I love changing something to look different than what it's supposed to be. And so he's like, hey, dude, I need someone for network security. It's like, would you want to come in as a network security administrator? And I was like, hold on. This was in 2000. You're telling me I can do computers, which I love, and I can do security, which I love, and nobody shoots at me? Sign me up now.
Literally nobody shooting at you.
And literally, now it's a vicious circle, because now I'm now where I'm at now, where now there's a possibility of me getting shot at again.
Right.
It's like, so
you're running into the Jayson Street security guards that are doing their job well.
Oh, exactly. So it's like, that was a very scary circle that turned into. But I've been loving it. And so I started out in Blue Team because that's where every red teamer should start in. It's like, I started out in Blue Team, and I was doing that for like at least 6 years. And then I decided, well, I'm building all these defenses, and I think I'm doing a really good job, because I'm thinking like, what would a criminal do? It's like, because I'm a hacker, it's like, I got to think outside the box. Like, how is someone's going to come after it? And so how would these attackers and criminals do it? And then I realized, but maybe I don't know all of it. Maybe I should be testing these defenses to see if they actually stand up and they're doing the stuff that I do. It's like, I didn't know about that there was a whole pen testing thing or all that stuff back then. And so I literally just started doing that, and then I convinced my company in around 2009, 2010, it was a bank. And I went to the owner, I was like, dude, can I rob our bank? Can I go rob some of our branches and see if they'll let me in, and see if I can implant a device and a phone plug or like something like that, and test it? That was an eye-opener.
They said yes?
Oh, yes, they said yes. They supported me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people. It's like supporting me, and the owner of the bank supporting me. Because, we always like to talk about upper management buy-in like it's just a CISSP answer. No.
Yeah, it's real.
It is vital. If you don't have upper management buy-in into where your company works now, you need to find a way to get it or find a way to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, because that is integral for any successful, because if a CEO doesn't think the security policies apply to him, then the people who report to the CEO don't think the security applies to them, and then so on and so forth, and you have no security policy. Even the guy in the mailroom's laughing at you.
Right.
Okay, so it's like you have to have that upper management buy-in. And then I turned out I'm really good at robbing people. And then in 2016, I had this epiphany about not trying to get the win, but trying to educate.
Right.
And I don't want to ramble too much, but it's like, but that was my moment where it was, I saw someone who I'm very good, once again, because of childhood trauma, I'm very good at reading people and learning how human nature works. And so I saw them down the hallway where I was from, because they let me in, but they realized they shouldn't have. They realized that I shouldn't have been there. It was a government building. And they were so like nervous, they were talking to someone and they were looking at me, and I could have gone out the door and I was like, yay, red team win. Because back then I really thought I was going to be a red teamer, and I wanted to be the best red teamer I could be. And if I would have gone out that door, I would have been, because I would have won, because I had compromised 2 machines before I escaped, and I could write my report like, aha. But then I had this moment, and I was like, but what if I let them catch me? What if I let her redeem herself, and I keep walking forward and keep trying to do the stuff and then get caught? And that's what I did. And then this huge 6-foot-something retired Air Force dude came in, and I instantly regretted my decision. But it became a learning experience for them and for the client, and it became positive instead of a negative memo. I was able to talk to the people and explain to them what I was doing and why it was bad. Never did a red team engagement after that. It's always security awareness. I tell the clients on the first initial call, I will get caught, even if I have to make myself get caught. And trust me, I've gone through great lengths to have to get caught, and they're ridiculous, but I've done it so they can get a win. So you have something to look up to and not something just to look down to. It's like it's showing them what it's about, not trying to test them, not trying to catch them out, but trying to teach them so they understand when the next attack happens, when someone else tries something like this, they're going to be more aware. They're going to be more understanding of like, this could be a threat. And that's what it's all, so that's all I do now, security awareness engagements.
When Jayson Street hangs up the bling, the rings, the boots, the stuff on your bags, what do you do? When you're done, when you're calm, what do you want to do at the end of this?
Oh, that is, see, yeah, because that's like, right now I'm Jayson E Street. It's like, the middle initial is my dad's first name that was given to me at birth. They gave me his first name as my middle name, and he died in 2005. And when he died, I was like, I want to be more helpful. I want to like make a more impact, because hardly anybody went to his funeral. It was the only funeral I ever went to. It was his, out of respect, because I did appreciate him. And once I was done with that funeral, I was done with the rest of the family. It's like, but I went with there, and I was like, so I used his initial to like remind me that it's about making an impact, about making a positive impact. But I hate being around a lot of people. My situational awareness like triggers my PTSD. It's like having people coming up behind me and around me. And so I need a mask. And I didn't even know what masking was until last year. I'd been doing it all my life without even realizing it. But that was the core of my self-hatred too. It's like, and so when I started acknowledging that in 2021, I started realizing I didn't have to hate myself, that what I was not bad and was not horrible, and I was not alone. Which came from LO Punk and a song from NF, actually, which is a Christian rapper who's like, he did a song called Just Like You. And it doesn't matter if you like rap or not, it's like, or it's a Christian or not. That song changed my life because he talked a lot about his mental health and a lot of his other things. If you want to know about me and who Jayson Street really is, listen to his songs like Leave Me Alone and my stress, and I hate myself. It's like that's me. It's like he is talking me, and so many other songs I relate to so personally. And so when I've got all this crap off me, this jewelry stays in my travel bag. It's in my carry-on. I do not wear this when I'm in Houston. It's like I don't. It's just I don't even like it sometimes. But it allows me to put that mask on and keep me centered, to be the advocate, to be the person, to be the accessible person that people need, because it's about helping this community. It's about being approachable, and that's why awkward hugs. No one's ever asked that question, so it's like it threw me for a loop. I hate being touched. It triggers so much, but when I'm Jayson Street, I can take the hugs. I've had people come up behind me and hug me, surprise hug me. And when I'm in costume, I can handle that. I literally had that happen one time when I was younger, and I instantly just went and punched him in the face. And it was this girl I knew, it's like, that I was actually trying to date. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen.
Didn't work out.
It's like, but it was a reflex.
Right.
And it's like, so, but when I'm this character, I can handle that. Around my house, it's like, they know to just like pat my shoulder when they're showing affection. They'll just come over and pat my shoulder. My youngest child is like, I pat theirs because they're like on the spectrum like I am as well. And so when I'm at home, the first day at home from a conference, I'm in bed. I'll have my little gaming device, or I'll have an iPad, and it's so hard for me to even get out of bed. It's like, then the next day, I might get up onto the desk, and I might try to start doing some work stuff, playing some No Man's Sky on the big computer. It's like trying to chill out. But like after DEF CON, because DEF CON is the hardest conference for me.
Sensory overload.
Because there's so many people, and it's all the time. It's like with SAINTCON, I can drop the persona a little bit because I'm talking to friends and it's more at ease, it's a more relaxed atmosphere. DEF CON, all these people from all over the world want to meet Jayson E Street and want to see him for some strange reason. So I have to be that no matter how bad my day is going. And I've been at DEF CON in tears before, but it's like DEF CON 19 was the worst talk I ever did because I had so much pressure and people were attacking me that it was like, that's the reason why it's my worst talk. I kept going, okay. Everybody makes fun of Mr. Mackey. When you're talking to someone and you're trying to convince them you know what you're talking about because you don't have the self-esteem or the acknowledgement that you're good enough, you're going to ask for affirmation. And that's what that whole talk was me saying, okay, I'm not stupid. It's like, you understand, I'm not saying something bad, right? That's what that whole talk was me trying to get that affirmation and stuff that I belong there. And so, but when I'm at DEF CON, I've got to be on. It doesn't matter what my day's like. That's the first time they're meeting me. It's got to be a good experience. It's like, or otherwise, Jayson Street's an a-hole, and he acts like he's somebody in the community, but he doesn't care. And so it's that pressure, because not only because I don't want to look bad on social media, I don't care. I look horrible on social media sometimes, and sometimes I'm the reason why. But because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to make them feel discouraged and stuff. And that's what it's about. There are no rock stars in this industry. It's like there is no hierarchy. That is one of the biggest myths, besides how great SMS two-factor authentication is, okay? One of the biggest myths in our industry is that there's literally like, oh, these people go speak at a lot of conferences. They must be more important, or they must be like, don't really have a lot of knowledge. No. It's like, my only response is, why aren't you on stage? You should be on stage just like I am, okay? Because you could probably say something on the same talk I talk about in a way that reaches somebody that I would never be able to reach. I was at B-Side Chicago. I watched a guy give a talk almost verbatim what my talk was like. I wasn't angry. I was like, yes. I inspired that person to like give a talk like mine and like share information, and he had different stories, different analogies, and it was amazing. And he probably reached people that I never would have been able to reach because I was too silly or not taking it seriously. And he did it more academically and more knowledgeably and stuff, And I was like, yes, that's what it's about. My bully got upset because I was inspired by him, and I did a talk that was similar to him. He was like, oh, you copied me. He's like, no, I didn't copy anything that he did, and I gave him credit in the first version that he saw, letting people know. It's like, I give credit. I learned this from this. I'm never going to be as cool as this guy. And so that's what it's about. It's about getting people that are attending conferences to start speaking about it. Start speaking at these conferences. Because once again, it's about diversity. One of the things that irritates me the most is seeing all those people in the audience that are so intelligent, so bright, and they're feeling like, oh, I could never get on and talk like that. It's like, I could never but yes, you can. I stripped on stage, and they wanted me on stage to talk. If that's how low the bar is, people, it's like, share your knowledge. Don't let people say that you're not supposed to be here. The only thing I have to say about gatekeepers is, we're hackers. Screw the gate, jump the fence.
Find the bypass.
Go under the fence, go around the fence. It's just an effing gate, okay? It's like, those are people that are scared. Those are the people that have used their trauma and their upbringing to go, this is how horrible I had it. Other people should have it that way too. That is the wrong attitude. Screw that noise. You belong in this community. If you're a hacker, and surprise, everyone was born a hacker. Hacking has nothing to do with computers. That's another big myth we tell ourselves, that to be a hacker, you have to work with Leonardo da Vinci was an Uber hacker. Ibrahim Ahim, who was a Muslim man from Spain, 300 years before Da Vinci, flew for 10 minutes in flight. And it's like, he broke his back when he landed, but still, he flew. That's a hacker. Ada Lovelace, hacker. The biggest insult you can give Hedley Lamar is call her an actress first, and not a hacker. Not a hacker. Because you know why? Hedley Lamar is the reason why we have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi right now. It was her work with radio frequencies in World War II with submarines for the US military that made that happen. But we want to think because, oh, she's pretty. Oh, she can recite lines. Oh, that's her function in society. Her brain was what was important, what she knew. And to have people try to lessen you and put you in that box because of your physical characteristics is not just an insult to you. It is an insult and making them less. It's like, and we need to remember that. It's like, but those were all hackers. Ada Lovelace created a programming language before there were computers. That was stolen by a man, of course, and took credit for a lot of it. It's like, but those were all hackers. So you don't need a computer. It's a way you think. When you were 3 years old and you've been around 3-year-olds, what is the common characteristic? And no matter what culture, what country you're in, why is the sky like that?
Yeah.
What is it true? What's that man doing? Why does that man look like that? It's questioning. Because they question. And they have imagination, like, oh, look at the castle in the sky. Why do the clouds form like castles?
What does this taste like?
Exactly. That's hacking. That is the essence of a hacker. Through, the horrible institutionalization of education and our peer pressure and families' expectations, that gets drowned out of a lot of people. They get ground out that asking, and you shouldn't ask questions, or you shouldn't be too extra. It's like when society does that, then they become normal people, which terrify me. Normal people scare me more than anything else. It's like, but if they're able to retain that essence of a 3-year-old, that essence of a hacker, then these are the people that are part of my tribe. Those are the people. It doesn't matter what invisible line on a map dictates where you live. It's like you're human. It's like, and you're a hacker, and you're my friend. It's like, regardless. And there are some people in my tribe I don't like. I still own them. They're still part of my tribe. And it doesn't matter what they look like or what shade of melatonin is raised in their skin or who they pray to or don't pray to. It's like, it's regardless of that, we're all one tribe.
Love it. Well, Jayson, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. You are valued. We're glad that you were here. Your keynote was awesome. Appreciate your insights, and thank you for joining us in the SAINTCON hallway.
Thank you very much. Talk to you later.